Hey, what is up, mortals? It is GrogFunky here, with a new video for you. Welcome to part 16 of What If Deku Was a Dragon Slayer. I just wanted to greet you guys by saying, sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. And so, we begin. The members of Class 1A gathered outside the campus. All of the students were excited. Several of the more exuberant students were dancing around the courtyard chanting, "Camp! Camp! Camp! Camp!" Wendy was standing next to Midoriya with a huge smile on her face. The two Dragon Slayers had gotten very close since the encounter with Shigaraki. A certain pink-skinned busybody was very curious about the level of affection between the two elemental students, but decided to say nothing. I have to say that I'm really looking forward to this training camp. So am I, Izuku, but I know there's not going to be much time for us to relax. After all, Scarlet Sensei and the other teachers will probably push us beyond our limits. She did call this a training camp, after all. You have a point, but that is nothing new to us. And just because we have to train hard doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves, too. True. By the way, where's Kaminari? I haven't seen him this morning. Wendy pointed her finger toward the main entrance of UA. He's over there. He's been talking to Jiro all morning. Midoriya looked where the wind user indicated. Indeed, Kaminari was talking to the purple-haired sound user. Although, to Midoriya's eye, it looked like a one-sided conversation. I wonder what's going on over there. Not really our business, but I guess we'll see. At that moment, two buses pulled into the courtyard. Urza Scarlet stepped forward and spoke in her usual firm tone. Students, it is time to board the buses. Suddenly, the members of Class 1B appeared and boarded one of the buses, under the direction of Itsuka Kendo. Mineta got a pervy look on his face at the sight of the 1B girls. Midoriya and Wendy got exasperated looks on their faces. The two would have to keep an eye on the girl-crazed classmate. No telling what kind of trouble Mineta would get into at this camp if left to his own devices. Wendy called for Class 1A's attention. Okay, guys, let's load up and head out. All of the students loaded the bus in an organized manner. The driver revved up the bus and took off to the campus location. Urza stood at the front of the bus. We will be on the road for a couple of hours, but you should all keep your wits about you. The red-haired teacher turned around and saw that all of her students were engaged in ritualist exchanges. It did the teacher's heart good to see that the students were all getting along. The sight brought back old memories of a life long gone. But the sight of the warm and friendly atmosphere of the bus made her think that some of her old world could still be revived. The educator still had her doubts if her students could face the evil that she knew was out in the world. As of late, Urza had a growing concern that an old foe would reappear. Even with these thoughts swimming through her mind, she decided to let her students be. After all, her students would not have much time for relaxation in the days ahead. After a long drive, the bus stopped by the road, and Urza told all of her students to get off the bus. Master, why have we stopped? Suddenly, two women dressed in flashy outfits appeared from a black car. The two introduced themselves as the Wild Wild Pussycats. All of Class 1A were confused by these two women. Midoriya fanboyed out of the sight of their two heroes. He explained that the two women were Mandalay and Pixie Bob. The green teen went on to explain in an epic rant that the two ladies belonged to a 4-member hero team that specialized in mountain rescues. All of Class 1A never failed to be impressed by their powerful fanboys' reactions. Urza walked over to Midoriya and chopped him on the head. That is enough. We have serious business to attend to. She's right. The hero known as Mandalay then pointed to a mountain in the distance. The camp you're all staying at is there. All of the students commented on how far it was. Mina Ashido spoke up at this point. If the camp is there, then why did we stop here? Asui responded to the pink girl's question in her flat tone. I think we all want to know the answer to that. She is right, students. The training camp has already started. Pixie Bob placed her hands on the ground, and a tidal wave of dirt engulfed the teens. They were all washed off the cliff into the forest below. Mandalay spoke from the top of the cliff. The cat-eared hero pointed off into the distance. Start walking! It should take all of you about 4 hours to complete the journey. All of the students turned to walk in the given direction. Suddenly, a massive group of creatures emerged from the forest. They began to attack the students. The tiny Mineta was the first one to feel the wrath of the monsters. Midoriya slammed his fist into his right hand. Looks like we get to fight! The teen then lit his hands on fire and spoke in an energized tone. Are you with me, everyone? Wendy backed up the flame user. He's right, everyone! Pixie Bob is probably the one who created these monsters! Look at him! Wendy pointed to the mouth of one of the creatures. Part of the creature's giant tooth dissolved into dirt. We have to defend ourselves! All of 1A members shouted in agreement. All of the young heroes unleashed their fury on the monsters. Many of them worked in pairs to clear the way. While it was fun for the students to unleash their full power, it was also hard going. When they would defeat one monster, 2 more seemed to take their place. After many hours, the group finally made their way to the camp. All of them walked into the camp breathing heavily. And with their heads lowered, they were all covered in dirt, cuts, and bruises. Pixie Bob responded in an excited tone. Congratulations! You all did much better than we expected. We thought it would take you much longer to get here through the Beast's Forest. Kaminari spoke up while trying to catch his breath. You said it would only take us 4 hours to get here. Mandalay replied to the electric team. Sorry about that. We based that figure on how long it would take us. Mineta then broke out in tears and exclaimed, You made it through all that just to show us that you were better than us? How could you be so cruel? Midoriya's eyes were fixed on a grumpy kid behind the 2 pussycats. The green teen decided to ask a question. Excuse me, I was wondering who that kid is. He was with you guys back on the cliff. Oh, this is my nephew, Koda. He lives with us now. Come forward, Koda, and introduce yourself. Midoriya walked up to the small boy and introduced himself. Hi there, my name is Izuku Midoriya. I'm a student of the UA Hero course. It's nice to meet you. As Midoriya extended his hand in a sign of friendship, Koda got an annoyed look on his face and balled his fist. The angry kid tried to punch Midoriya where the sun doesn't shine. However, Midoriya saw the attack coming and caught the boy's punch midair. That was a cheap punch, kid. If you want to hit me, you'll have to be faster than that. Koda looked at the fiery teen, confused for a moment. He wondered how he moved so fast. However, Koda quickly got over his shock and got even angrier. He stormed in a huff and muttered, Stupid heroes! This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Staying safe online is an ever-growing difficulty, and hackers could exploit you. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track, securing your privacy. In addition to providing you with safe passage through the web, you can also expand the reach of your favorite streaming services. Now, are you tired of going through 2, 3, or even 4 streaming services to watch your favorite anime? Well, with NordVPN, you can change your country and be able to binge shows like My Hero Academia, Naruto, and many others on your favorite streaming services with just the press of a button. Check out the link in the description to get 72% off when buying for 2 years for $3.29 a month. This deal is only for a limited time, and thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. After that, the students were all taken into the dining room and served a massive meal. The Pussycats told the group to enjoy the service because the students would be responsible for making their own meals in the days to come. Finally, the students went to get a bath. It turned out the boys' and girls' baths were separated by a high wall. This obstacle was no match for one Minoru Mineta. The short teen tried to use his quirk to climb the wall. The pervy teen was stopped by Midoriya. The Dragon Slayer grabbed the small boy by the shoulders and told him to behave himself. Kaminari then backed his friend up by telling the small boy that he would get the wrong attention from the girls if he kept acting that way. The next morning, Urza Scarlet woke her students up before the sun rose. Today, your training begins in earnest. The armored woman then tossed a softball to Bakugo. Give that a toss, Bakugo, just like before. All of the students knew that this action meant Urza wanted to check their progress once again. All of the students figured Bakugo's throw would be even more ridiculous than before. You want my best, teacher? Then that's what you're gonna get! Bakugo pulled back with all his might and threw the ball while shouting, Go to hell! A reading came onto Urza's phone and she said, That was 707 meters. The class was surprised by this result. None of them could understand how Bakugo could have made such little progress with everything they'd been through. Make no mistake, you've all improved since coming to UA. However, these improvements have basically been to your stamina and the technical applications of your powers. Your powers themselves have not changed on a fundamental level. Such changes normally happen as you grow, but we do not have time for that. This training camp will force you to use your powers at a new level. This process will make you feel like you're dying. I hope you are prepared. While the students of 1A were freaked out by Urza's statement, the crimson-haired hero was glad to see that none of them were backing down. All of the members of 1A had come to UA to become true heroes. None of them were going to be scared away by a little hard work. Urza gave a serious glance to her students. The Pussycats will be giving you the training regimen I have laid out for each of you. She then pointed out the Dragon Slayers. Midoriya, Marvel, and Kaminari, I have something different in mind for you three. Follow me. The three students followed Urza into the woods. After a short walk, they came to a cave on the mountainside. Standing outside the cave was Loxus Dreyer. Kaminari was the first to speak. Master Dreyer, what are you doing here? I am here to help out with your training, if you want to call it that. Midoriya was concerned by Loxus's words. What does he mean by that, Master Scarlet? I will explain shortly, but first it is time that you three knew the truth about your powers and the enemy we face. Wendy responded in a concerned tone. What do you mean, Master? Listen closely. You three have been told how you got your magic powers, but that story is a more simplified version of events. Me, the other masters, and Wendy come from a country called Fiora, on a world called Earthland. Midoriya and Kaminari looked at Wendy with a concerned look. The two did not know what to say. Wendy was even more concerned by the two boys. The skinny girl responded to Urza in a panicked tone. That can't be true, Master. I remember my childhood and my parents. I remember growing up and being found by Lucy and Natsu. Allow me to explain. Your master has told you how Dragon Slayers and magic came to be, but that was the story of how Earthland came to be. All of the magic users on this world came from Earthland. This all happened because of an ancient evil from our world called Acnologia. He was a human who was empowered by the dragons to fight against other dragons. The problem was that Acnologia was too good at it. He killed so many dragons that he became the most powerful being on Earthland. He also gained the ability to transform into a dragon by bathing in the blood of the dragons he killed. It was Kaminari's turn to respond. Okay, that sounds gross, but what does that have to do with us? This guy would have to be dead by now, right? Loxus walked over and hit Kaminari on the head. Quiet down and listen. Do you think we would be explaining this if he was? As I was saying, Acnologia also gained the lifespan of a dragon, which can be ridiculously long by human standards. The villain's only goal was to destroy the world. This is where we came in. Me and your masters all belong to a wizard guild, kind of like a hero agency in your world, called Fairy Tail. We came into direct conflict with Acnologia. I'm afraid to say that our battle failed and our world was destroyed. But you are all here, Master. You see, after several battles with the monster, we lost many of our friends and allies. It took one last effort to defeat Acnologia. We teamed up with a powerful wizard called Zeref and his minions to accomplish the goal. We were going to do this by using a powerful magical gate to open a portal to a realm called the Void. It is a place of nothingness. We figured that would give us some time to find a way to defeat Acnologia. But the Dark Dragon did something we didn't expect. He used his power and the power of the gate and then destroyed the world. A huge flash of white light overtook us and we woke up here in this world. But that doesn't explain how come I don't remember any of this. Wendy, during the final battle, you were beaten badly. During the fight, we thought you were dead. If I had to guess, you probably don't remember you died as the flash overtook us. The process that brought us here probably caused you to be reborn into this world, but with your magic intact. But what about me and Kaminari? And Stain using magic too? Stain is still a mystery. He was not from our world. There was a Shadow Dragon Slayer, but he looked nothing like Stain. The man also fell in an early battle against Acnologia. We also don't know how you two got magic powers, but we don't plan on looking a gift horse in the mouth. It is our plan to train you three to face its ancient evil. Where's the guy now? We have not been able to locate him. For such a powerful force, Acnologia has been good at staying hidden until he wishes to be seen. I fear we would only leave ourselves vulnerable to attack if we focused on trying to find him. Well, what do you want from us, Master? Kaminari nodded in agreement with his green-haired friend. Urza held out her hands with a flash of light. A suitcase appeared in them in a flash. The red-haired teacher opened the case. Inside were 3 glass orbs filled with swirling energy. In the center of the energy was a dragon-headed symbol. Midoriya responded in a quizzical tone. These look like the spheres that Natsu gave me during the sports festival. Yeah, you gave me one of those too, Master Loxus, before the finals. Those were normal magic, Lachrime. These orbs were just replacing the magic power you had depleted. Of course, this process is not to be done repeatedly. These are Dragon Lacrim. We managed to create these with the power of surviving allies from the final battle. We plan on implementing these into the three of you. This process should make you three much stronger. However, this process will not be easy. It will be very painful. The three teens looked at each other and made a silent agreement. Let's do it! If this will help us get stronger, then of course we'll do it! Okay, then let's get started. Urza chanted a spell over the magic orbs. The three objects levitated into the air and flew at the three teens. The orbs then transformed into a thick energy and fused itself into the teens. A moment passed and nothing happened. The teens thought they were in the clear, but then the pain came. The teens felt as if their bodies were being ripped apart from the inside. Their magic surged to levels they thought were impossible. This is how the next 30 hours went. Little did the younglings know that they were going to need every bit of power for the struggles ahead. Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope that you enjoyed. Before you leave, we would just like to let you know that we the Celestials have many other channels for your entertainment and viewing purposes. All the information you'll need is right below here in the description, so feel free to check out all the other incredible projects our team creates. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. That's all for today's video, so goodbye and have a divine day.